Hello and welcome to the SmartBridge webinar on JD Edwards Enterprise One Managed Services. In today's webinar, we're focusing on managed services, how you can benefit from those in your organization, why they're required, and what types of companies utilize these. So we're hoping that you get a lot of value out of today, and we look forward to any questions that you have at the end. SmartBridge is an Oracle Platinum partner, and we've also partnered with many other important partners to the JD Edwards community, from Microsoft to MicroStrategy, ArcTools for your archiving needs, and All Out and Q Software from a security standpoint, and Insight Software from reporting. Today I'm joined by Victor Lang. Victor, would you like to take a moment to introduce yourself and talk about your background?
Yes, thanks, Ross. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today at the conference. What I'd like to talk about today is managed services, which is very near and dear to me since this is something that we've definitely helped our clients with in the past. I have over 15 years in JD Edwards implementations, upgrades, and helping our clients succeed.
Great. Thanks, Victor. And my name is Ross Stevens. I'm Director of Sales here at SmartBridge, and I have over 10 years of technology consulting experience. I actually started out at Oracle and have since moved into the partner community offering consulting services. My focus has been on JD Edwards upgrades and new implementation, and from anywhere from managed services to offshore services to Oracle license sales. So between Victor and I, we've got a lot of good experience and background and hope to share that with you today. A little bit more about SmartBridge and our JD Edwards practice. We've been in business for over 10 years, and three key elements to our success have been focusing on people, process, and technology. We offer a full range of JD Edwards services from implementations to upgrades and to what we'll be speaking about today, managed services. And our superior customer satisfaction ratings, we're very proud of those. We think that's how we separate ourselves from the other offerings that are in the marketplace today, from managed services and overall JD Edwards consulting services. When looking at SmartBridge, the core of our organization is enterprise systems. And within enterprise systems, the one ERP that we focus on is JD Edwards, both the Enterprise One and World. Outside of JD Edwards, we have our Enterprise Information Management Group. And that's where you're going to have your business intelligence, data governance, enterprise integration, master data management, and Oracle Business Intelligence and MicroStrategy are two key solution offerings that we work with. We also extend beyond that into our extended technologies, and that's where we're going to work on mobility, mobile applications, cloud services, and different analytics. We've done a lot of work with dashboards, both on the iPad, the iPhone, and Android devices. So we're a very versatile organization working with our clients in many different areas, but what's most important is at the core of this is JD Edwards. Here's a slide that I'm very proud about. As you can see in a survey that we completed in 2012, SmartBridge, compared to other partners out there, we've got extremely high rankings as compared to what other partners have done for the JD Edwards community. So take a second to look at some of these different areas. You can see overall we rank very high through the different areas: communication, value, support, ability to meet needs, products offered, sales process, that was before I came on board, so we're hoping to get that one improved. And then ease of transaction. But overall, we're very proud of these, and if you choose to work with SmartBridge in the future, we hope to get the same type of results from you there. Now moving on to the typical needs of a JD Edwards environment, you can see at the top there we have factory IT and enabling IT. Think of factory IT, that's keeping the lights on. It's your day-to-day process of your J.D. Edwards group. And then you have enabling IT. So these are going to be strategic types of scenarios, different projects that you acquire a company. So SmartBridge as an organization, we are set up to support you in both of those areas. Managed services, day-to-day operations, we're helping you out in your factory IT. But on a project basis, you know, when you're acquiring a company, you're doing a new rollout of J.D. Edwards, you're adding a new module, we'll be able to work with your team and help perform those different types of functional areas. Now, when we look at the J.D. Edwards environment, we like to break it up into the two areas of technical and functional. So on the technical side, you're starting out with your CNC, your database management, and then of course, not everything's able to be completed in J.D. Edwards, so you're going to have some bolt-on applications. That would be your Vertex, security solutions such as All Out and Q Software, and DC Link, you know, by DSI, RF Smart, all those different bolt-on applications. And then when you get into the J.D. Edwards development, BI Publisher development. So that's all going to be in your technical. Now moving up into functional, that's where you're going to have security management, quality assurance. You're going to configure the J.D. Edwards system for your business users. You're going to evaluate business process. You're going to have your IT leadership putting out strategic direction. So in the functional, we're going to cover all the areas of finance, supply chain, HR payroll, manufacturing, distribution, real estate, and many, many other areas. So this is just a good breakout to show you the typical needs of a J.D. Edwards environment. Now moving on to what are the key challenges that most J.D. Edwards customers face. So of course, from your business community, you're going to have high expectations for application availability. That's going to be performance and uptime. They're going to want to sit down at their computer and be able to access J.D. Edwards and the other applications. Now, from a support perspective, it's becoming more and more difficult to hire folks to help support the J.D. Edwards environment. And once you get them hired, it's more difficult than it has been to retain them. And then with that, you know, they're going to have high salary demands. So supporting J.D. Edwards environment from a people perspective can be challenging. Now, of course, J.D. Edwards environment is just not J.D. Edwards. There's lots of different skill sets that are required to support your business applications. We've listed a few different ones there. I'm sure you can recognize those. From a training perspective, we all know that technology is changing faster than ever. So ongoing training, you know, your folks having to take time away from their job, that's going to be a necessity. And then, of course, people go on vacation. That's something that we all like to do and enjoy, and you need a break from work. But from a J.D. Edwards perspective, they just can't go on vacation. The business still needs to run. So how do you support your J.D. Edwards environment when people go on vacation? And at the end there, do you have enough work to justify a full-time person and support these various technologies? So we're going to look at all that today and help give you a better understanding of how you can utilize managed services to answer these important challenges. What we've come up with is 3 different challenge scenarios. So we're going to start with the first one here. Our staff has its hands full, constantly fighting fires, working on projects, and running the business. This is a really strong case for hiring additional CNC staff. But like we spoke about, it could be very difficult to find the right mix of talent and skill sets. And depending upon where you are geographically in the United States, that can be more difficult than in other areas. So in this case, utilizing CNC managed services would be a great solution to supplement your existing staff. When we talked about the IT factory and enabling IT, this is a good scenario when we're looking at that. So your team with managed services would be freed up to focus on more of those enabling types of projects, you know, those strategic projects, your long-term planning, and other key initiatives. Extended managed services team, you can think of them as that IT factory helping keeping the lights on, you know, those daily routine tasks, and support tickets.
That's right, Ross. This really works well for many of our clients that already have a full-time CNC staff that's very experienced, because those people understand your business and they've been working for you for a long time. So they're best suited to work on strategic projects, mergers and acquisitions, new interfaces, all those kinds of different things that are high value but require a lot of expertise in your industry. And then, as Ross mentioned, the factory IT stuff can be done by us. It really helps the client be more effective.
Moving on to challenge scenario 2. We need CNC support, but don't have enough work to require a full-time CNC. This is another common scenario. In this case, you're looking for a managed services provider who can support your basic needs. So that's that keeping the lights on. But you need them to have the additional experience and expertise to provide ongoing guidance and recommendations to support your business.
That's right, Ross. This is another very common scenario. It happens a lot with mid-sized companies because they have CNC needs. They need to do package builds. They need to upgrade to a new tools release. But they don't need to do this all the time. It's only a part-time job. So why hire a full-time person to do a part-time job? This is a great scenario for managed services because we provide the continuity of support 24/7 if you need it, and you don't have to pay for a full-time person to work on your job when you don't need it. So lots of mid-sized companies like this because they have great support, great expertise, don't need to pay for a full-time salary.
Great points, Victor. Thank you. So our final challenge scenario number 3. Our CNC needs vary over the year with workload going up and down. At times we need additional support, and other times we have extra capacity. It's another really common scenario, addressing those peaks and valleys throughout the course of a year. So in this case, an on-demand CNC managed services offering is really the best fit. So this is a supplemental support team that can be engaged only when needed throughout those different parts of the month, different parts of the year. And the managed services team should be able to provide additional expertise not readily available by your internal staff. So database and network administration. It's a really unique offering. If you think of going throughout the course of the year, say you're a retail, going into the holiday season, you got a high peak demand, so you need some additional support for your staff. But then, come January and February, everybody's working on paying off those big Christmas bills, so the demand on your J.D. Edwards support team will be very low.
That's a great example, Ross. It's exactly what this is for. It's for when you have those peaks and valleys in demand. You have staff. They're normally able to handle most of the workload, but suddenly projects do start to appear, and you may not be necessarily prepared for them at all times. You may need some expertise in a very specialized area, whether you're troubleshooting some performance problems or you're having some network issues. And you don't really need to have these people on site full-time throughout the year, but there are times when you do need them. So managed services can step in, alleviate some of the day-to-day work, and add some specialized skills on certain areas where you might need it.
When looking at a managed services provider, we've shown here the SmartBridge advantage. So we like to think that you could take this and compare others to us, and we're pretty confident that you'll be very pleased with what SmartBridge is able to offer. So most importantly, we've been doing this for a long time, over 10 years, providing managed services. We've got a lot of different clients that are very happy with the service we've provided them, and that we've become strategic partners for them. Along with that, we offer a full range of services to meet their growing needs. We like to be that one hand to shake, so to speak. And 24/7 support in this global environment is very common. When the people are sleeping in the U.S., they're awake in China or India or over in Europe. So 24/7 support has been a common need. And of course, you're not going to lose support due to vacations or training and sick days. We're here for you around the clock. And we also offer a service catalog with flexible pricing to meet your specific needs. So we can put together a managed services support agreement to fit pretty much everybody. So this is a good example of the different service offerings. So we'll break it up into managed services and project services. So when you can think of managed services, everything in that, the darker boxes below there are going to be included. So you're going to have your JDE, CNC, database administration, security administration, UPK maintenance, development support, and functional support. Then, of course, you have the project services. So that's going to cover your JD Edwards upgrades, JD Edwards implementation, and overall project management. With SmartBridge, we're able to offer you both of those, the factory IT support and then your enabling IT projects. So the benefits are clear. Managed services will help you mitigate business risk by maintaining a high level of system availability. You're going to have 24/7 sustained access to JD Edwards technology specialists. You won't have to worry about the resource and skill management headaches, the ongoing training needed, vacations. We've got you covered there. And then, of course, one of the important pieces is rapid response to issues. If you get an outage, new capability demands, we're here for you. And all this is backed by service level agreement and minimum standards. Now I'm going to turn it over to Victor, and he's going to take us forward and going more in depth into the CNC managed services.
Thanks, Ross. What we're going to do now is talk a little bit more on the CNC managed services in terms of what kind of specific offerings we're able to provide and some of the details behind those. So first off, what is the actual offering provided by SmartBridge? Well, we cover the entire gamut of services, and we can work with you in a very flexible way to make sure we're meeting your needs. So as we said, whether it's just staff augmentation or you actually need someone in terms of the factory IT to do the day-to-day operational support, do some proactive monitoring so we can see if your databases are at the proper capacity and sizes, if you have the right size disk, if your network is actually at the correct bandwidth and utilization. We can monitor all those systems. We can monitor specific batch jobs that occur overnight. In addition to that, we can provide specific project-based upgrades and tool release installs as part of our managed services contract. We can do audits, and we can do all the different types of support that you would need on a day-to-day basis, whether you want us to use us as a second tier, first tier, third tier level support. We can work with you in a very flexible way to make sure that it's seamless to your business users or your technical team. So this is just a clear example of the different ways we can provide services to you. And all of this, of course, is managed in a way that you have a single point of contact and a clear escalation path if you have any major issues. So here's just a quick example of the different levels of offering we provide. And now this is not written in stone in terms of we are very flexible in that you can pick and choose some of these services at different tiers, and you can mix and match so that we can fine-tune some of these things based on your needs. But just as a overview, you can see we have levels of silver, gold, and platinum. And the very base level silver is a very low, cost-effective $7,000 a month. So you can see it's usually much more cost-effective than having a full-time CNC. So this kind of scenario is I have part-time needs. I don't want a full-time person to hire, but I do need continuity of support. So this allows for someone to actually do your package builds, do some analysis on your systems, provide monitoring of jobs, but it's not a full-time job and you don't want to hire a full-time person to do that work. When you move on up to the gold level, we're going to provide you more troubleshooting, more support. You have 24/5 support, or we can extend that as you need. But we're monitoring things on a 24-hour basis because you might have a global operation and you need things to be up and running at all times. And then once you move up to Platinum, we're talking about, additional third-party application support that you may need, whether it's be Vertex, CreateForm, BI Publisher, whatever integrated systems that you have as part of your JD Edwards ecosystem. We can start to support those. We can also, in addition, look at all the different tiers that you have in terms of, maybe you need database administration support, maybe you need network support. In addition, it covers all the stuff that's involved in the prior tiers such as gold and silver. So we're still supporting, your security management, so we can help you add users, remove users, and we will work with you with your change control process. So everything is seamless to the business. So as I said, you can mix and match these, and we're very flexible for our pricing, but this is just a rough idea of what we have to offer here. So what about service levels and response times? So here's an example of something that we put together around the silver, gold, and platinum. And of course, we're very flexible, and we can mix and match these and adjust these based on what your specific business needs are. But just at a very rough idea, you see that silver, you have the 2-hour, 4-hour, and 8-hour responses, all the way up to the platinum, where you're going to get a response within 30 minutes. So it all is based on what you need for your business. If you have something that is very, very important and you need a response right away, we can adjust these and say, we reduce some of the response times, make sure you hear back from someone immediately if you need, just to let you know we received your call and we're going to start looking at it as soon as possible. So we're going to work with you on your service level agreements and make sure we meet those, and we can provide different types of incentives or different types of constraints to those to make sure that those are met. So what else do you get with managed services other than the actual daily operational work and expertise that we're providing? We make sure that we provide plenty of documentation, because if at any point where you decide to move on or something changes, you want to have the documentation to be able to carry on the work that's being done. So not only are we providing the day-to-day stuff in terms of the daily monitoring and system reports, but we're providing you the knowledge transfer documents, your environment map. So what environments do you have set up? What are your path codes? What are your OCM mappings? All that different information that any CNC that comes in would need to know in order to be able to manage your environment properly. And then we're also providing you the detail level reporting on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. We also meet with you monthly so that you have a face-to-face person talking to you and telling you these are the things that we found for the month. Everything is going well, or no, you may have a problem here with this space, or this the server went down, and here's possibly why that server went down, and we can maybe need to adjust some of your JVM settings. So we provide you very detailed analysis of what's happening. You have the history of what's happening so that you can see any trends, and we can make adjustments based on those. If we see that, oh, you're starting to utilize the system more and more because you're adding more users, we can say, hey, it's time, you might need to upgrade your hardware or get a larger disk so that you can deal with all this additional space that's needed. So this is just a sample of the reports that we provide, and we provide many more as we get engaged, so that you're making sure that you know what's going on and that you have the information you need to move forward. So how does a normal CNC managed service engagement work? Well, what we like to do is we like to make sure that we understand your environment. We make sure we understand your people and what your specific cultural needs or process needs are. So there's an initiation process as we work to finalize your contract. And what we'll do is we'll understand how your environment works, see if there's any gaps or issues in terms of, you don't have a ticketing process, and we'll help you either use our ticketing process to track any problem tickets, or we're more than happy if you already have a ticketing process to use yours. So we're very flexible in our approach. And then once we start to execute, we said we're providing you those daily, weekly, and monthly meetings and support documents, so that you understand exactly what's going on in your environment, any problems that may be occurring, or any forecasted issues that might be coming up, and helping you plan ahead so that, if you have a major project coming up, we're having a regular meeting with you. You tell us, hey, I'm going to acquire a new company. We're going to need to build new environments for that company. We're going to need to add new servers. So we'll help you with that. We'll help you manage that. And all of that occurs as far as our normal daily execution. And then if you decide to move away from managed services, it's very easy. We provide a closed process that's already in place with a knowledge transfer and all our documentation that we've put together that's been updated so that you have a very easy path of transferring on and migrating if you need to. So in the end, so why managed services and why yes? Well, obviously we're able to provide 24/7 by 365 days a year support. So we're always on, we're always ready to help you. We have a global company where we can provide services either on-site, remotely, or offshore. So we have multiple ways of providing you support, and we can do it throughout the day, all year long. We have the expertise. So a lot of companies, they may have CNC expertise, but do they understand all your third-party products, such as Vertex, CreateForm, All Out Security, all those different third-party products? Not only are we partnered with those various companies, but we have the expertise in-house to support those products. In addition to that, we also have the database expertise, the network expertise. So you're basically getting an expert IT team at your beck and call whenever you need, in addition to 24/7 support. And we're proactive. So we're not just doing your day-to-day package builds and those kinds of things, but we're looking at the trends, the analysis, how much disk space you're using, how much network you're using. And we're providing you those diagnostics so that you can see if there's a problem or there could potentially be a problem as you move forward in your organization. And we're a team, so we're not subcontracting to other people. We're not, working with a separate company offshore. This is all in-house. This is all SmartBridge resources that we've hand-selected and hired and working together as a unit to make sure that we're providing you excellent service. We're providing you a single point of contact, a primary account manager to make sure things are going smoothly. So it's very easy to work with us and very easy to call and contact us because you know exactly who we are and have access to us all the time. So as I've stated, we're very flexible and, we're willing to make adjustments to our plans. We're willing to make adjustments to our different service levels, all tailored to meet what your business needs. So as we mentioned early on, we are a CNC JD Edwards company and we provide managed services, but we understand it's all about people, process, and technology, technology only being one piece. So we provide the strategy, project management, and then, of course, all along those lines of different levels of technology across enterprise systems, business intelligence, and those emerging technologies and such as mobility and social media. So if it ever comes to be where you need some project help, we have expertise there too. So we're not just a CNC managed service company. We can be extended to help you in other ways as well. So I'm going to give you just a brief case study about some of the clients and how we help them. So one of our clients here in Houston, Texas is Energy Alloys. We help Energy Alloys do an upgrade in less than 60 days. Not only that, we did it at a very low cost. I think this actually was featured in Oracle Profit Magazine. And what we did was we basically helped them with their upgrade, and part of that was the managed services offering. So with our managed service offering, we allow for a tools upgrade. If you do a 3-year contract, we'll do a tools upgrade for you as part of that contract, so that's included as part of the managed service offering. And then once a year, we'll do an app upgrade. So basically, Energy Alloys is basically able to distribute their costs of tools upgrades and app upgrades via a 3-year long-term contract with us. We provided all kinds of support throughout that in terms of not only just the CNC, but we also provide the DBA database services. So they were able to get the upgrades done, manage their systems, and be well under budget and on time using us. So this is a classic example of where you have a mid-sized company and they need support, but they don't want to have a full-time staff. Managed service offering gets everything you needed done, and it's very cost-effective. Another client of ours here in Houston is Flowtech. So Flowtech's also been a long-term client of ours, and we've been managing their CNC and DBA needs for quite some time. Flowtech is also in the oil and gas industry, and they provide drilling and production support around the energy and mining fields. So what we did was Flowtech, they had a problem with their J.D. Edwards implementation and their support. We came in, we helped with the implementation to get that right, and then we also provided ongoing CNC support. So we were able to troubleshoot all kinds of different issues, not only with their CNC promotion process, but they ran into some network issues. We were able to help them with that. Any database-related issues, we were also able to help them with that. So we were a full-service CNC provider for them, and basically their go-to company for any technology needs. And we were very flexible in terms of when they needed expertise, we were able to ramp up, assign a network expert to them and say, hey, it's, you have a problem with the router, you need to configure it this way. Or once that problem was fixed, they no longer need it, we continued on with the daily CNC support needs. So we've been an ongoing provider for them since 2011. And all our clients speak highly of us. So if you know anyone in the Houston Oracle J.D. Edwards community, our reputation usually precedes us in the fact that we are very well spoken of, and we always want to maintain that reputation. So we're not going to do anything but the right thing for our clients. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the presentation. We're ready to wrap up here. What I'd like to do now is allow you to type in any questions that you may have around our services or managed services or different use cases, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions.